Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday. Oh, I forgot. Hi. Hey guys, give me a second. Hello. Oh. I think so. Except that I'm dropping stuff left and right now. Ay, ay, ay. One of these days, somebody's going to get me in trouble for saying that. I think live was good. I don't know why I grabbed that, but that's okay. I'm waiting to see. I don't know who's all going to be here tonight. If Carrie's going to be here or not. Hi. Hello, hello. Ooh. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay. We're going to give it another minute and then get started. I don't know if Carrie will be here. She was pretty tired earlier, so we'll see. And Jesus loves you too. Carolyn Taco Lynn Pugh. I don't know if you're expecting me to raise a fuss over you saying that or what. You too. Why don't you stick around better instead of popping in, blessing my evening, and leaving? Do you? Tonight. Oh, wait a minute. Hi, Christian. Oh, that's okay, Carrie. I said hi, Kristen. And I will not say it again. So, tonight we are talking about the American Mastodon and the woolly mammoth. But before we do that, I also want to talk about some of the animals, really briefly, that they would have shared a habitat with, that they might have shared a habitat with. Actually, we'll do that later. We'll do that when we start talking about the woolly mammoth. So, the American Mastodon was not this small. No. Mammoth and Mastodon are two separate animals. So this is a Mastodon. They would have their name Mastodon means breast tooth in Greek. I don't exactly know where they get that name from exactly. Unless that's because the teeth are sort of pointed. I don't know. These guys are in the same order as a lot of other ancient elephants, mammoths, and living elephants. So it's a fun group. Where do mastodons stand in all that craziness, though? They are distant cousins to both the mammoth and the elephants, and they actually have a shared ancestor that lived 20 million years ago. That's how far back you have to go to get a common relative. They stood between 8 to 10 feet in height, and they weighed between 8,000 to 12,000 pounds. Their fossils have been found across North and Central America, and they even had a home here in my home state. They're adapted to life. Well, yes, they did. But as D-Man is saying, they didn't necessarily. They may have crossed paths, the mastodon liked forest. They like to be in the forest. Hence, their teeth are much different looking than a mammoth's tooth. Mammoth's tooth is a little bit more spiky, whereas a mammoth tooth is a little bit flatter. Mastodons basically fed on leaves and twigs. Hi King N57, or sorry, King N5Z. They were built for it too. Socially, very much like our modern elephants, males and females both had tusk. Males had bigger tusk. Their tusks were a little bit straighter than those of the mammoth, and they lived about 10,599 years ago. And basically, they died out from climate change and also from early humans. Now, don't get all upset that I said climate change. Our climate has changed over the years. Over thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years, the Earth has periodically gone through shifts. Now, the world back then wasn't just home to mammoths and mastodons. They shared this world with a number of different animals. There were dire wolves, which this is not a dire wolf. There were cats, and not mountain lions, but actual like American lions. There were bears. Oh, thank you. But not necessarily black bears. There were 3 different species of saber-toothed cats in the Americas. I don't know if they all met mammoths, but some of them did. There were horses. This is a Powalski's horse. They may have looked like this. They may have looked a little bit different. I can't say because I wasn't there. In Europe, there was Irish elk in places. We did not have Irish elk in North America, but we did have other deer species. There were very large armadillo-like creatures. Some of these were the size of a Volkswagen Bug. Sorry. Oh, sorry, you weren't talking to me. There were also giant ground sloths. And there are places in the United States where you can find all of these guys' fossils if you know where to look. And all of these animals live together, not necessarily in peace. Yes, they did. And terror birds, how to describe them? Take an ostrich, make it carnivorous, make it about the size of a horse, maybe? I don't know exactly how big they were. And that is a terror bird. Now, there were also rhino-ish like creatures. I don't know if either one of our animals would have met these guys. Maybe, maybe not. But mammoths in Asia, in the high steppe areas, and in Europe, had these guys as oh, sorry, that was not intentional. Had woolly rhinos. They were not, this was not an animal that you wanted to mess with. Very large, very aggressive. They were hunted though. And with all of that out of the way, and I'm glad somebody else knows more than I do, because, you know, we can't all know everything. So, woolly mammoths. Woolly mammoths. Big guys. These guys were in Europe, they were in Asia, and then they were in North America. They did not enter North America. That's okay. These guys did not enter North America. I don't have an exact date of when it happened, but they eventually would cross the Bering Strait and enter North America. They did not come alone. There were other animals. But as we'll talk, these guys are pretty amazing. I think Carrie left again, or she's quiet. I'm not sure which. They stood 8.9 feet to 11.2 feet tall. They weighed around 13,227 pounds. And their tusks were 14 to 16 feet long, and they weighed close to 200 pounds. Like mastodons, both sexes had tusk. I almost messed up. Now, these guys liked it cold. So they would have been found in the steppes of Russia and in the tundra in Alaska, and maybe further south. In fact, further south, I'm going to say. And they were not alone. Yes. Yep, Ivory. If you lived back during the reign of the mammoth, you would have seen this animal often. It was one of the most common animals in Alaska in its day. That is true. Very true. These guys could store fat for leaner times. They defended themselves with their tusk and their trunks and their sheer size. And their diet was very different from what we saw with the mastodon. These guys are going to be eating grasses, sedges, and other flowering plants, small plants, not big plants. And there isn't really evidence to suggest, like D-Man said, that they were digging up stuff with their tusk. They were probably using their trunks to do that. And I don't know if you can see it. Probably not. But they do have like fingers on their trunk that would have helped them gather up stuff. Now, they weren't just big hulking elephants either. These guys had hair and lots of it, and it grew to 3 feet long. Fun fact, the Mastodon and the woolly mammoth, well, out of the woolly mammoth and the Mastodon, it's the mammoth that is most closely related to the Asian elephant. These guys were hunted by man. Man helped to decrease their numbers. Mammoths were first described to modern science. Now, I say modern science, but really, I'm talking about 1799 is when mammoths were first described by science. It's also important to note that this was not the only mammoth. Not the only mammoth. Now, I'm only aware of one other. There might be more. But in the United States, there was also a Colombian mammoth. And if you visit the San Diego Zoo, you can learn more about them. There's also a ton of other elephant-ish animals that lived in North America. We've just covered 2 of them. And some of them are really strange looking. And when I say really strange looking, I mean really strange looking. But that is what I have. And it's important to know that Neanderthal and humans were hunting the same animals. No doubt in my mind. We hunted for food, and we hunted for clothing, and possibly weapons. Congratulations on the great nephew. You never know what you're going to find. That's the beautiful thing about fossil hunting. Sometimes you find a prize, sometimes you find shells. There are a ton of other animals that we could have covered. I don't have a lot of what I would call prehistoric mammals. This will not be our only jump into these animals that we're going to do. I don't know what our next long ago live is going to be, because I plan these things and then I walk away from them, and I'm lucky if I remember my own brain after I do it. Because there is a lot of stuff to cover and so little time to cover it. Excuse me. Next live, we are going to be talking about grasslands. And I think, oh no, I hit the wrong button. We're going to be doing a flooded grassland. Nice. I was smaller than that though. I was like small. Desert grasslands. And then Saturday, guys. Saturday, we are doing Oklahoma brown tarantula, the Arizona blonde, and then we're going to do starburst baboon spider and my favorite baboon spider, the orange baboon spider. And if you have never kept an orange baboon spider, I guarantee you have not lived. Sorry, just saying. That's my opinion. Next week, we are doing plants for our Learn to Care. We have 2 exhibit focuses that we're doing. Then we're going to be talking about floods and volcanoes. Nope. Let me show you. I think I can prove that they're real. I haven't changed. I haven't because I've been busy today. But it is going to change. I just haven't picked a date yet. I think I posted them to Facebook. Maybe? I just have to find them. Naturalist me. Goofy but me. Animals from Planet Zoo. I gotta share some of these. That is my really cool flamingo river. Although you probably don't really see them swimming much. But, yeah. Anyway, what was I looking for? Oh, yeah, spiders. Yeah, it's more a stream maybe than a river. And if you ever needed any other proof that I am a nerd at heart, oh wow. You can't even see me. Ugh. That's just redonkulous. This is when I was at my most handsome. Why am I so washed out? Dang. I look like a... You know, um, one thing I learned is never, ever, ever allow somebody, because it almost happened to me. Um, don't allow yourself to be changed. Like, seriously, because there are people out there who don't understand the joys that we get from being out in nature. Where, aware, aware. I know I have pictures. I have pictures of everybody else. Why don't I have pictures of her? Oh no. Oh, oh. Found her. No, go back. Dork. Are you leaving us? D-Man, this is for you. That is an orange baboon spider. She purty, but she will put you in a whole lot of hurt. She greeted me every single time I opened the cage. And not in a good way either. I love my babies. I wish I would have caught I don't have a better picture, I don't think. They do. Or maybe I should say they will. But yeah, they're the babies. I don't know. Oh, that's the okay. Oh, interesting. That's a really bad picture. But that's just proof that I really did have weird pets. That's a desert hairy scorpion. Are red-eared sliders, those aren't native to Florida? I take it? Or I gotta be really careful when I say stuff like that. But I found way more pictures. Ah, okay. I thought so, but sometimes the old memory just ain't what she used to be. So this, look at this, look at this, look at this. This is the type of stuff that I used to do on YouTube. Interesting. That, I believe, red ear slider. I believe. I don't think it's a painter. And oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What is this? What is this? Look at the baby. I want you guys to know you should never do that. Never, ever, ever should you do that. Because you just never know what you're picking up. Luckily, for me, I had a nephew that was a little bit like me. And would bring me all types of stuff. That is a female eastern garter snake. One of my favorite things to mess with in the world. This next picture is one of what I think are the worst, at least up here, one of the worst invasive species we have in my area. And everybody thinks they're so cute. In case you can't tell what those are mute swans. And from what I've heard, oh, awesome. But yeah, they are not the type of creature you want to mess with. And I don't know if it'll show up. I really don't. But that is proof that at one time I had dark hair. It's just proof. I have. I should look it up so she can see it. Right? No, that was a sick nature guy. Long story, I was on anxiety medication and didn't realize that one of the side effects of it was needing to eat constantly. And I was like I felt like I was green to the skin. Oh, I gotta look that up. No, I don't want Gemini. GOMPOTHERIUM. Oh wait, maybe I ought to. Here, let's do it this way. They're only sort of crazy looking. That's a skeleton. And I'm going to see if I can find. It says there's 9 pictures. Hopefully one of them. That is what they said they look like. They had the trunk, as you can see, and then a mouth that actually came down a lot further than modern day elephants, tusk, and then another set of like tusk. I don't know, that really doesn't show it. No, what are you doing? Okay, there you can see it. Maybe. So it has tusk on the side. And then right there, there's another set of tusk that they used. Now, I don't know much about this particular species. But they are kind of crazy. I think they're cool. So here you can carry. Oh no, definitely not. Here's the tusk coming down. This is the lower jaw. And right there are two tusks, two other teeth. That's the thing, is remember that the tusk is actually two teeth. They were around during the early Pliocene, and their family survived into the Ice Age, or until the Ice Age. They would have lived in Africa, Europe, Asia, North America, and Central America. And most of them were the size of an Asian elephant, but there was one species that was bigger. I am so hungry. Now this is an animal I I can't even imagine. That's an African elephant. This is Indritherium. Look at the size difference. Yeah. Not an elephant, but a rhino. Another name I need to learn to pronounce someday. But they're huge. Our next jump into long ago is in December, and we're going to be covering Sarcosuchus, Caprosuchus, Titanus, which is a terror bird species, and giant stork, which is lepto something robustus. So yeah, sort of excited for that because I know a little bit about terror birds. I believe it's Titanus that is in Florida, or was in Florida. Oh yeah. The way I'm sort of doing those. No, but let me look at the calendar real quick. Now, D-Man, you're out all of next week, right? Let me look at the live. Let me look at the lives next week. Let's do. What do you think? What do you think? Oh, wait. No. No. That's next week. You will be in town. You'll be in town for the 17th through the 22nd? So if that's the case, we have trivia, herbal tea chat, subscriber only events, and a Q&A. And let's do Saturday the 22nd, if that's okay. It just says Q&A/danger box. And I've done danger box so much that I really don't care to do it anymore. As long as, well, no, it won't be. What day is Thanksgiving? I looked at this and I don't remember. The 27th is Thanksgiving. So if we do it the 22nd, we should be okay. Are you good for a Saturday? It's a general Q&A. It's either a Tuesday, the subscriber only event on Friday, or the Q&A. And I honestly, I don't really care. Okay. Well, then let's do it the 22nd. That way I can have my fun with the trivia. And I can do tea with me, with you guys, and then the Q&A. Now, I want to see something. We'll see how I can do. Uh-oh. Guys, I need to go. My phone's about to die. I will see you guys on Friday. I'm hoping to have stuff up tomorrow. Be good, take care, and enjoy your evening. See you soon.